Good evening. Coming up tonight.
Today, President Rhoades announced an exciting change to next year's academic calendar.
Plus, hear about the devastating first loss the Gamecock men's basketball team suffered last night.
And later, we'll tell you all about Time's 2024 Person of the Year.
But first, Nicole Smith is in the studio here with us now. Nicole, what weather can we expect to see this weekend?
Well, we can be expecting to see some colder temperatures during the day, but even colder temperatures at night. Plus, a storm's brewing in the near future. I'll have the weather forecast for this week and more for you tonight on SGTV, Student News at 7.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio.
This is Student News at 7.
Good evening, Carolina. I'm Erin Smith.
And I'm Bridget Bruchalski. Thanks for joining us tonight. This morning, University President Michael Rhoades announced a change to the fall 2024 academic calendar. In an email to USC students, faculty, and staff, he announced a change that will allow students to have the entire week off for the Thanksgiving holiday.
However, this means that the first day of classes will now be 2 days earlier, with classes now beginning August 20th. The final day of class will now be December 6th. In his email to students, he said, quote, "I hope this change will allow more flexibility at the end of the fall semester and provide our students an opportunity for easier holiday travel." I know that I personally always end up skipping my classes those 2 days, so I'm kind of glad that it'll be an official week off now.
To be honest, I do too, so I'm excited to have a proper week off and just enjoy it with my family.
And not have to stress about skipping them.
Yes, exactly. Earlier on Green Street today, a rally in support of Israel was held by members of the USC community. SGTV reporter Clarissa Meyer has the story.
I'm here at the Stand With Israel protest on Green Street, where students and community members have come out to show their support. Let's take a look.
Green Street unfolded with blue and white with a rally in support of Israel, an event with the intention of togetherness and holding one's pride in their Jewish heritage. The supporters were handing out shirts, wearing flags, and painting the Israeli colors. Rabbis, professors, and student leaders spoke on their personal connections to their values. Doron Shitrit, president of the student organization Chabad, shares the importance of the specific day.
And I think it's really powerful that, today also marks the 2-month mark since October 7th, and it's the first night of Hanukkah. There's just so much good energy and good spirits going around.
Anti-Semitism has been expanding across college campuses worldwide since October 7th, and Doron says the Jewish community continues to stand stronger and spread the light in the darkness.
And I think I speak for the entire Jewish community when I say that we're here to spread light, and nothing is going to shed that darkness.
Other student organizations, such as Alpha Epsilon Pi, stands with Israel. Their president, Barry Klarberg, being Israel-born, helps lead the fraternity in the pursuit of education and acts of support.
First, you must educate yourself, but be cautious of your sources. Way too much of the news today has become opinion. Focus on fact, not opinion. Open a history book. Look back at the stories of the Torah, because in a sea of misinformation, fact is the only thing that will prevail.
However, not everything was smooth sailing, as multiple speeches were interrupted by passerbys yelling, and one individual took the mic protesting the rally. Despite opposition, the rally persisted.
The Gamecock community is mourning the loss of one of its most devoted fans. According to Fox Carolina, Carlton Thompson, nicknamed Gamecock Jesus, passed away at the age of 70. Thompson battled with prostate cancer. He was a dedicated fan students could often spot at many Gamecock sporting events. His love for the Gamecocks started when he attended a sporting event in 1968, when he was a sophomore in high school. The news of his passing exploded across social media yesterday. Students are reposting a picture by Gamecock online that memorializes Thompson.
USC Student Organization Activity Fund is expected to run out before the end of December. According to the Daily Gamecock, the student body treasurer reported there are about $10,000 left in the budget. If and when the funds run out, student organizations will not be able to receive any money from the student government until July 1st. The issue with funds presents a potential bankruptcy. It's also stirring the pot within student government. The concern led to the resignation of the Speaker pro temp, The Student Senate has now proposed a bill for potential finance code reform to prevent this from happening again.
A soccer club on campus unexpectedly lost their sports club status. After following the club for 2 practices, SGTV reporter Chloe Castaigne has a story on the fight to get USC's recognition back on their name.
Jason Devlin was relieved to retire his cleats after running the University of South Carolina's International Football Club, until receiving a text from a teammate who was preparing for the upcoming season, saying the IFC lost its sports club status.
He was trying to reach out to reserve space for tryouts, and that's when they told us that we were no longer a sports club.
In July, the Office of Campus Recreation rolled out a new sports club policy, changing some sports clubs into student organizations. The IFC is one of 25 clubs booted, leaving the club to juggle finances themselves.
I'm currently standing on Bluff Road Fields, where IFC practices and where they've practiced for the past few years. Despite no longer being considered a sports club, they're still able to play on these fields, but now for a price.
Before the transition, they received funding from Campus Recreation and were free to use field space at no charge. But the switch to student organization means the club now pays for the pitch they play on. According to IFC Treasurer Drew Hansen, the rate to rent these fields range between $1,500 and $1,800, a price almost out of IFC bounds.
It would literally double our current requirement for funds.
The IFC turns to student government for funding to keep the players playing at the same price. But Devlin says he's frustrated with needing student government to keep them afloat.
I don't think we should have to rely on student government. I think it sucks that we have to take funds away from other clubs that could use them.
The president of Campus Recreation's Sports Club Executive Board, Alex Morris, says this transition comes from too many sports clubs and too little funding. He says this change was needed.
The reality is the best benefit for all, and from what we have seen from a financial and logistical standpoint, it has benefited everybody.
But Devlin and the IFC disagree. So they're lacing up their cleats, shooting for sports club status once again.
It's campus recreation, and this is recreation to me.
For SGTV, I'm Chloe Castaigne.
American Sign Language classes will be able to qualify as a foreign language Carolina core requirement in fall 2024. According to the Daily Gamecock, sign language classes were introduced to campus in 2019 with the end goal of it qualifying as a language requirement for students. Students even petitioned the school last year for the course to qualify with over 1,400 signatures. The class is now only available to upperclassmen. The department chair says they're searching for professors that can teach 4 courses a semester to keep up with class demand and enrollment.
Next semester, a new fraternity is coming to USC's campus. Delta Chi will be the 28th fraternity on campus. USC will become the 3rd active Delta Chi chapter in South Carolina, along with Clemson and Coastal Carolina. Delta Chi began at Cornell University as a law fraternity, but later transitioned to a social organization. Information sessions will be held at the beginning of next semester for any students interested in joining the new fraternity. For now, students can keep updated by following their Instagram page at @delta_chi_UofSC. Turning now to statewide news, lawmakers are allocating money for new safety improvements in public schools across South Carolina. According to Live at 5 News, the State Superintendent of Education, Ellen Weaver, requested that the state include $20 million for facility safety upgrades. Some included safety upgrades are classroom door locks, bulletproof glass for windows, and renovations to school entry points. More than 40 school districts, multiple charter schools, and the Department of Juvenile Justice will receive a piece of the funds. The school system hopes to dedicate more money next year as the total request from school districts far exceeded the $20 million budget.
In an 8-3 vote, the Richland County Council gave the second round of approval to fund the $80 million expansion of the Riverbank Zoo. According to WLTX, it's called Bridge to the Wild. The project is promising to build a new orangutan exhibit, multi-purpose facility and restaurant, and create riverfront access. Council members Overture Walker, Dawn Weaver, and Jason Branham voted against the expansion due to concerns about increased property taxes for Richland County residents. Even the City of Columbia Mayor, Daniel Rickenman, posted a formal letter to the County Council on Facebook opposing the expansion. While it would increase taxes, people in favor argue that this is an investment and valuable tourist attraction for the area. I think no matter what happens, the Riverbank Zoo is always such a fun place to visit, and I'm excited to see what happens with this expansion proposal.
Yeah, I love always going there, and it's a new exhibit would be awesome, but I do see how there could be some pushback.
Absolutely. Coming up after the break, SGTV weather reporter Nicole Smith will let us know if we can expect this cold weather to stick around. Stay close.
Welcome back, Carolina. I'm Nicole Smith, and here's your look at tonight's forecast. Tonight's temperatures you're going to see are going to be dropping down to 36 degrees with those winds going 2 miles per hour. So those winds shouldn't be too bad, but it is going to get pretty cold here tonight. So just make sure you wrap up all of that. Now, that sunrise will be hitting us at 7:16 a.m. So definitely if you're up that early, make sure you catch it. It's going to be very beautiful. Now, taking a look at what this week is looking like, you see we're going to have rain here on Sunday. So just be equipped for that. Gloves, rain jacket, all of that. Now, we're going to have some colder temperatures hitting us, especially at night. You see we're going to have as low as 28 here on Monday. So, you know, that's the start of that exam week. So it's the perfect time to stay inside, wrap up, and study for those exams coming up. But speaking of exams, a lot of students do have their exams online. So some are heading home this weekend. So let's look at what the nation is looking like for if you are heading home and you're an out-of-state student. Now you can see that we're going to have some different temperatures all throughout the state. Here in Miami, we're hitting 81. In Los Angeles, we're hitting 73. And then Minneapolis, we're hitting 35. So very different all throughout the nation. But the bigger picture is we're going to be in a low pressure system here this weekend. You see we're going to have some snow in Denver and Minneapolis. So if you are heading there, just make sure you wrap up because it might be cold here, but it's going to get even colder if you're going there. And then you see here in Chicago and Atlanta, we're going to have some rain. So definitely grab an umbrella, all of that, be prepared. Now, looking at the state, just zooming into just the state and what that's looking like, you see that rain is going to be raining here on Saturday in Greenville, and throughout the rest of the state, you should be good. Now, these are just for Saturday. It will be running on Sunday. That's why I said we're in a low pressure system because that rain and some thunderstorms are going to be coming to us this Sunday. So you cannot put your umbrellas away, keep them out. We're going to have those storms this weekend. Just kind of wrapping everything up. Like I said, those storms are moving east. They're going to start in the West Coast and move to the East Coast with that low pressure system. We're going to be seeing rain and thunderstorms this Sunday, as well as those colder temperatures all around. So definitely just make sure you're bundling up and grabbing everything that you need to go outside. With that being said, that's all I have. Coming up after the break, SGTV sports reporter Dakota Morris and Karenna Porter will have the latest in sports. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dakota Morris.
And I'm Karenna Porter, here to give you the latest in sports. We're starting off the sports segment with some breaking news. The South Carolina State Bulldogs have announced that the current Benedict College head coach, Chanice Berry, will take over as their new head coach, pending board approval. Berry will replace Buddy Pugh, the all-time wins leader in program history, with 151 victories. Berry led Benedict to back-to-back undefeated regular seasons, winning the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference title in both years.
Benedict has been to the Division II playoffs in each of the last 2 years, losing in the second round in both. Berry took home the Region II Coach of the Year award in 2022 and 2023 for his extremely successful season with the Tigers. Berry has been linked with the SC State job throughout the season, but just officially made the move this afternoon. After the Gamecocks men's basketball team ended their season matchup with the Tigers, falling 67-72 from the rivals from the upstate. Both USC and Clemson went into the game with a 7-0 record, the first time in all 173 games played between the two schools. The Gamecocks started off hot and led 30-23 at the half. However, an 11-point run in the second half eliminated the Tigers' deficit, locking them into a back-and-forth battle for the lead. Michi Johnson, who was the overall leading scorer with 26 points, gave the Gamecocks their longest lead of the game. With just 15 minutes left of the game, Johnson hit 2 free throws, putting the Gamecocks up by 11 points. After more back-and-forth action, it would be Clemson's Ian Shefflin, who made a series of plays in just 29 seconds that gave the Tigers a 3-point lead with 4 minutes and 53 seconds left. Clemson's Chase Hunter joined in and helped Shefflin extend the lead in the final minutes, and the Gamecocks were unable to respond. The Gamecocks will be looking for redemption this Saturday at East Carolina. The noon tip-off will mark the Gamecocks' last non-conference game of the 2023 schedule. It's really sad that we lost that undefeated streak, but they still played a really great game, and I'm still excited to see what's coming ahead for them in this season.
Yeah, I totally agree. I hope they can keep the momentum that they've had for the season because the team is definitely looking really good this year. With the transfer portal officially opening up last Sunday, we have an update on how it's affecting the Gamecock football team. As of right now, the Gamecocks have 18 players that have entered the transfer portal. In better news for Gamecock fans, just 4 days ago, defensive tackle Tonka Hemingway announced that he was returning for another year via social media. And a few hours ago, star linebacker Debo Williams announced he is returning to the team. Williams was third in the SEC with 113 tackles and is a key piece to the success of the Gamecock defense. One way the Gamecocks are trying to retain talent is by the Garnet Trust. According to the Garnet Trust website, quote, Garnet Trust creates experiences and connections between University of South Carolina student athletes, Gamecocks fans, and businesses, end quote. Utilizing their NIL, student athletes are paid to make media appearances, autograph items, attend events, endorse products, post social media messages, and more. Staying in Gamecock football, 3 Gamecock football players were named to all SEC teams, the conference announced Tuesday. Redshirt junior Hunter Rogers received second-team All-SEC long snapper. Rogers handled long and short snapping duties during the 2022 and 2023 seasons. The Gamecocks did not have any kicks blocked during the season. Senior Xavier Leggett was named a second-team All-SEC performer at wide receiver and as an all-purpose performer. Leggett led the Gamecocks with 71 receptions for 1,255 yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. Graduate student Trey Knox was named a second-team tight end. Knox was second on the team with 37 receptions for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Looking into Gamecocks women's basketball, the team is 8-0 after taking down Morgan State at home, winning 104-38 last night. This is the 5th game of the last 8 that the Gamecocks have scored over 100 points. Head coach Dawn Staley experimented with the new starting lineup last night, leading to the first start of the season for Samia Walker and Tessa Johnson. Johnson made most of her opportunity and led the team in scoring with 16 points, a career high. The rest of the Gamecocks roster also had impressive outings yesterday. Chloe Kitts had a career night, picking up 14 rebounds, the most of her career. Raven Johnson shot 5 for 5 from the field and 2 for 2 from behind the arc, a perfect shooting game for the star guard. And then all 10 scorers for the Gamecocks recorded at least 6 points, 6 of the players recording over 10 points. The number 1 ranked Gamecocks look to carry on their success this Sunday in Connecticut, while they will take on number 11 Utah State out of Utah State. So it's really exciting for them. Just amazing years in the past couple years, and hopefully they'll keep it going.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they have a bad player on the team, so I think they're going to do really well this season.
Yeah, and I think that new lineup tells us a lot about the future of the program.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Coming up after the break, SGTV entertainment reporters Emma Wyatt and Destini Austin will lay down the talk of the town. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Carolina. I'm Emma Wyatt. And I'm Destini Austin, here to give you the latest in this week's entertainment. It may be crunch season for students here as the semester comes to a close, but there are still plenty of fun events to look forward to. The Association of African American Students, also known as AAAS, will be hosting their highly anticipated fashion show this Friday. This year's theme is Black is Timeless. Auditions were held earlier this semester for student models who, if selected, get to walk down the runway in front of peers wearing unique and trendy outfits. The event is tomorrow night in the Russell House Ballroom on the 2nd floor. Doors open for all students at 6:30 for seating, and the show will start shortly after at 7. A fashion show is such a fun way to end the week off, especially before the final week of school. Netflix's game show Squid Game The Challenge has been renewed for its 2nd season. The reality show was inspired by the original South Korean Netflix series, which quickly became popular after release in 2021. The show went on to become Netflix's most watched Korean drama. After the success of the series, Netflix created a game show at which 456 players could compete for $4.5 million while playing the iconic games from the original series. After the release of Season 1, many thought the challenge was in poor taste, missing the point of the original series. This resulted in mixed reviews. However, the game show still continued. and a casting call is now open for new players around the world. For those interested in being a contestant on the upcoming season, applications are available at squidgamecasting.com. You know, I love Squid Game, but I think my favorite version was Mr. Beast's. What about you?
Yes, I found myself in a pit just scrolling through TikTok, watching all the clips of Mr. Beast's version. I think it's really interesting to see real life people actually play the games.
Yeah, we could all use $5.5 million.
We've talked a lot about this semester, this chart-topping triumph of Taylor Swift in 2023. So it should be no surprise to Swifties that she is chosen as Time Magazine's Person of the Year. She's been recognized by Time for her ongoing impact on music, culture, and humanitarian work throughout the past year. From the release of her critically acclaimed album to her advocacy for artists' rights, she's proven herself not only as a musical powerhouse, but also as a socially alert figure. Time's editorial board highlighted Swift's ability to use her platform for addressing important issues, including gender equality, mental health awareness, and the importance of voting. Swift's impact goes beyond the world of music, and being named Time's Person of the Year is proof that her influence is dedicated to creating a positive change. Speaking of recognition, Oxford has just announced its Word of the Year as Riz. After 32,000 votes, Oxford language experts have officially rizzed Gen Z and Gen Alpha with the Word of the Year. The shortened term of the word charisma has recently become a popular term, and Oxford Press defines it as someone's ability to attract another person through style, charm, or attractiveness. Actors such as Tom Holland have made jokes saying, "I don't have Riz, I have limited Riz," claiming that he scored his girlfriend Zendaya by playing the long game. Language is always evolving, and Riz reflects our collective craving for positivity and enthusiasm. It's a little spark of joy in our everyday conversations. It seems like having Riz isn't just a word, but it's a lifestyle. So if you're ever in doubt, Riz it out. What would you rate your Riz?
Probably a 0. I have no Riz at all. I'm just so awkward.
Yeah, I don't have Riz either, but it's time to get back to biz. That's all your entertainment news for tonight. After the break, we'll have tonight's edition of Carolina Canines. You do not want to miss it. Stay with us.
And finally, tonight's Carolina Canine features Bo. This happy guy was submitted by SGTV's very own Slay P. Berry.
Bo is a 1-year-old English cream retriever who loves annoying his sister Chloe, and in his free time, you can find him stealing Dad's clothes. Okay, with that face, I could never get mad at Bo for stealing my clothes. In fact, he can have my whole closet.
I think he's gonna have to find something cute to wear to his next birthday party.
So cute. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our other content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv@usc.com. For SGTV, I'm Erin Smith.
And I'm Bridget Bruchalski. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina, and forever to thee.